Hey y'all, how was your day? How are you feeling? So, I hope you're having a wonderful or have had a wonderful day. Hopefully you're home now, unwinding, you know, relaxing, chilling out. So, I wanted to come down and talk to you on this live about something that is of vital importance. Okay. So you need to start your garden. Okay. I'm talking to you. If you have not started your garden, you need to do it like now. You got to do it. It's going to be fun. I promise. So I was in a certain big box retailer that shall go unnamed. And just perusing, like it's the start of the growing season, just taking a look at the inventory and seeing what's out. Um, Today was super duper like cold, like 43 degrees. So if you don't know, I'm in southeastern Pennsylvania and the weather has been fluctuating a lot, but that's fine because now is the time where you can start growing very simple, cool season crops, okay, such as, let's see, let's see if you like this one, cilantro. So I did not get this one from a local, I'm sorry, I didn't get it from the big box store. I actually got it from a local, what do you call that, nursery, right? So with this type of plant, the only thing you would do is when you first get it, I would just harvest it. Just like cut it right there. Use this for your culinary dishes. All of you chefs and cooks out there. That ain't me, so don't ask me for a recipe, right? But cilantro, oh, it smells so good. Oh, beautiful. So that's a good one. But before we get into what you should grow, let's talk about fear. Okay. If you have been following me for any length of time, I'm pretty sure that you have heard me repeatedly remind you there's no fear in gardening. Okay. Even if you mess up, even if you make mistakes, it's totally, totally fine. Right? It's not the end of the world. Now, if you have a tendency to just follow people online, on YouTube, on Instagram, and try to do every single thing that they tell you to do and never tap into your own intuition, you could potentially end up wasting money, right? So, what I want you to do, I want you to always be encouraged. If you try something and it doesn't work, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't try again. Yes? Because look, honestly, if you have children, you could do some gardening because you have a whole human that does not come with any type of, what do you call it? Instruction manual. There's no recipe that you need to follow, right? Much of parenting is ready for it, improvisation. It is. So, right now, given all this going on in this country, you really have to make time to grow your own food. It doesn't have to be some elaborate garden and, trying to emulate what other people have online on Instagram or, wherever, whoever you follow. It doesn't have to look like their particular setup. Okay. Work with what you have. And my strong encouragement is yes, start now, but also you definitely need to always experiment. Okay. So I always say, if you give me a seed, I'm going to figure out how to grow it. That's what I'm going to do. Now, in my own case, so for those who don't know, my background is I grew up in the South and my grandparents had a massive, massive garden. Okay. So I recall the trips going to the hardware store. They would sell, like the seeds would be sold in these barrels. And so you would just go and scoop it into a little brown paper bag and then weigh it by the pound and then off you go. Right. So my grandfather, he would, it was a massive garden. So he would do like the rows of the gardens. So I was a little helper. I like going to the hardware store and getting all of the supplies and tying up the tomatoes, like I think it's called the Florida weave, all of those things, right? So for me, that's where my passion originated for the gardening. But even though I was a little girl and I was exposed to it early on, I didn't really ever like just really get into it until when was that? Like 2010 or something like that. But I mean, in a way, I kind of, got it by osmosis, right? Loving gardening and being outside and being with the dirt and just all the things that comes with it. But I never truly ever appreciated the joy of gardening until of late. I was in a very toxic employment situation and I neglected my garden. So, like last year, I didn't plant my fall garden like I had in years past. And honestly, it took me into a state of depression. I'm just keeping it real. That's what happened. So now going forward, I know that I need to always be gardening, but also I need to set a boundary and that I will not ever, I know it may sound crazy, but I'm telling you right now, I will not ever allow anything or anyone to ever come between me and my garden. Right? It sounds crazy, but I'm not crazy. Well, I don't know. That's debatable. But no, seriously, um, you got to figure out somewhere. You have to start somewhere, right? And I was telling a friend of mine earlier this afternoon that Bible verse for the Christians out there, the Bible verse about, I can't recall it in verbatim, but it talks about not despising the small beginnings. The small beginnings. Like, think about it. When you plant a seed, it starts off as what? A seedling, right? Exhibit number one. See this? So I'm doing this double cup method, which I've never tried before. So this is a yellow pear. And I think I planted it like a week ago. And so look, it starts off, it's a little simple seed. And then in due time, I have an expectation to reap a wonderful harvest. So it would be like the little small, like grape like size. And they call it yellow pear because it kind of mimics like the shape of a pear. And it is yellow, of course. But the point is, it starts off as a small seedling. So we just have to start, guys. And listen, I know that in these United or divided states of America, that's all I'm going to say about that. You may have been, not may have, you have been conditioned, right, to have fear. Oh, I'm not good at that. Oh, I don't know how to do that, right? Meanwhile, you have a whole entire computer in your hand. You can Google it if you're not sure. You can Google it if you don't know anyone, that can explain how to do a process. You can do it. It's fine. But you just have to start. So let me get off the soapbox for a little bit. Now, I was in this certain big box store today taking a look at the prices of the plants. And the prices are really off the wall in comparison to purchasing a seed packet, which right now it can run anywhere between $1.69 all the way up to $5.99. Okay. Now, what I did get today, just for demonstration purposes. So I have this beautiful marigold, and it's only $1.98, right? It looks pretty healthy. Okay. So normally I try to get things that don't have buds all the time. In other words, like they have buds that need to open up, that they're not already bloomed. That's what I mean. So we have that one. I got that one. And also here's another one. So you see that right there? Hello. Hi, Victoria. Hey, Michelle. Thanks for stopping by. So just to let you know, once you plant this and at the end of the summer going into fall, because the marigolds, they typically last into the fall, this little bud right here, it turns into seeds. So once it dries up, once the the petal finally shrivels up, then you have all these seeds. So then next year you don't have to buy anymore. Okay. So if you don't know, marigolds are good. They're deer resistant, and they're also good for like companion planting with tomatoes. Like usually I always plant like a bunch of tomatoes. Okay, so moving on. My aunt, who is like well into her 80s, she loves gardening, and like I help her out with her garden and everything. So one year, maybe it was last year, I think it was, I actually planted some creeping Jenny, which is a perennial. Okay, it's good for part sun, and pretty much like you'll get a really good bang for your buck. So right now it's still very cool out, but the creeping Jenny is like popping in her garden. Now, I haven't grown creeping Jenny from, seed or anything, but guess what? This baby is $3.79. But the beauty of it is it's a perennial. Okay. So if you are a beginner gardener, please start out with perennials. Okay. So you can build your confidence. You can feel like, oh, like that didn't die. One of the saddest things for me is to hear people say, like, well, I don't have a green thumb. Who told you that? I've been doing some sort of gardening like pretty much my whole entire life. But guess what? I still kill plants. Shh. Don't tell anybody. But it's okay. So you have to start working on your confidence, on your intuition, and just trying things. And gardening will grow your patience. Okay. And sometimes you will get a little disappointed, but it's fine. You just have to like bounce back, keep it moving, like always think about moving forward, and everything's going to be fine. Okay. So grow the food that you like. Grow only, especially starting out, grow only the food that you like. The food that you will actually eat. Who's laughing? Right? We're not growing food that we don't eat. That's defeating the purpose. So grow the food that you like, and things that you will cook with, like the cilantro, what I have here, like the parsley, which looks like the cilantro, but this is parsley. This is also another great perennial. Like I said earlier, I can just, plant this and then harvest this part off. And so, and that's another thing. You have to harvest. One of the first things that I really learned the hard way is that in order for the plant to keep giving you more and more and more, you have to harvest it. You have to cut away so it can reinvigorate and and send all of the energy down into the plant, right? You send it a message that it needs to produce more. Yes. Now, don't do this. Another rookie mistake that I learned the absolute very hard way early on. Mint. It's great in our drinks. It's great for like Indian dishes. Okay. Don't plant this in the ground now. No, no, no. We're not going to plant this in the ground. Okay. Plant this in a container, because otherwise it will and you want to be mindful of other plants that you plant it with, because mint spreads a lot and it will take over. So you don't want to do that. Okay. And then this beauty right here is golden thyme. So this is a great culinary herb as well. And you can also, I like to put it in like water or different, lemonade or tea or anything like that, right? So it gives it a nice little hint of citrus and it's fun. So if you're wondering where you should actually try to start, you can actually get a container like this, right? And it has trays. So it has like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it has 6 of, oh, well, hold on. It has 2 of these. Okay. So it's what? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18 cells. So that would be 36 total. Now, with this little thing, this is a seed starting tray, okay? So you could put the water in it and then it waters, it keeps the seedlings moist, right? Because you definitely need to keep the seed moist in order to help it germinate. And then if you have a warming mat, it will actually go under this and you will place this on top of the warming mat. And it comes with this little plastic dome. Okay. So this is also to help the seeds to germinate. Now, one quick tip with this is if condensation starts to form, like right here, like on this, on the inside, it's important to remove this and let the seedling breathe a little bit, because otherwise the condensation, like you can kind of, I don't know if, yeah, you see those bubbles? So that condensation, once the seedling has germinated, if you don't take this off and let the seedling breathe, then the water from the condensation can actually, drip down onto the seedling and like make it limp, and you don't want to do that, right? So this little thing, I think it was like $5.99, and something I got today when I was out and about. I've never tried this before. Normally I get Espoma, like the seed starting mix, but I wanted to try this. So it's a 3-in-1 starting mix. It's called Back to the Roots. And let's see, what does it have? So it says, for starting all seeds and cuttings, coconut core for enhanced moisture retention, great for herbs, veggies, fruits, and flowers. Okay. So you can start off with something like this. And, you know, the point with the seed starting mixes is you want to have something where the seeds, once they germinate and start to form a root system, that they will be able to, like, you know, easily move up through the soil. Because, you know, compacted soil, like if you are down south and you have the red clay, you know, that's problematic because it's so compact, right? And with this double cup method, so this is a marigold that I started. So I don't know if you can see any type of seeds. I'm sorry, the roots. Maybe you probably can't see the roots too good. But you see that going down that way? So you want the seeds to be able to move up. And then this stuff right here is called easy straw. So it's easier to look at the seeds, you know, once they've germinated, you can actually see that they've germinated. So that's why I like to use the easy straw. And I have them in my larger razor beds in the garden. And with the easy straw, like it, you know, kind of gives it some cover to help lock in the moisture. So, because you don't want to have to, well, not have to, but you don't want to allow your seedlings to dry out because they get confused and then they stop, you know, growing and like all the things. And another quick tip that I use, which maybe is controversial, I don't know, but it's what I do because I'm kind of impatient. I like to use leftover coffee or either like hot water. Now, some seed packets, it will recommend that you actually soak those seeds 24 hours prior to planting. So if they have a really thick coating, you especially want to do that. It's really important because otherwise you're like, oh my God, like I planted this 3 months ago. Why hasn't it germinated? So the answer to that question is the conditions aren't right. It hasn't warmed up to, you know, a level where it can actually break open and start to germinate and form into a seedling. So just whatever it is to move this train along, okay? Because we need to eat. So I think that's pretty much it. And what we're going to do right now, let's plant a little something. So I have this kombucha hot pepper. So I have that and some basil. And then I'm going to do a midnight snack tomato. So these seeds, I actually ordered these from the Okra Lady. She's on Etsy. You can find her on Instagram. So that's what we're going to do today. So that's pretty much it, guys. What's going on in your world? Anything? Anything? If you're here for the replay, shout out. Let me know what's happening. Have you started any seeds? What are your intentions? Are you a first-time gardener? I would really love to know. Oh, gosh. I just really... So I'm in zone 7A. Oh, that's another thing. Just Google your zone. Pretty much Google what is my growing zone for USDA and then put in your zip code and it will tell you. All right, so it's a pretty good amount of seeds. I don't think you can see that. Can you see? Okay. So what I would like to do is, let's just get, I don't have anything. Oh well, I'll just put it on top. So I'm going to plant this, some cilantro, and some basil. So what I will do is then, you know, let me show you again. So I have these. So each section has 6 cells, okay? And so I'm going to plant 1 crop for each set of 6 cells. It's very like therapeutic to do this. And normally, just as a good rule of thumb, you can plant 3 seeds. Because guess what, guys? Seeds don't always germinate. So you can't like plant one and it not germinate, and then you're wondering, well, why didn't it ever pop up? Because that one didn't just germinate. So I'm really excited about the upcoming season of growing. I feel like I've been away from it too long. I've been suffering through the winter. No, it hasn't been fun. But guess what? We'll get through it. It's, It's just a season. And you know something else? I don't do stuff without gloves. I don't like it. I don't like it. But with this, it's easier to just, you know, use your hands to actually deal with the seeds. Now, in this tray, it isn't the back to the roots. It's actually some Espoma seed starting mix that I, you know, already had. And I like to try different mediums to see what would do the best. And another good tip is, you know, once you dump all of your seed starting mix into the container, just pour some water in and like mix it up and make sure that it's actually wet, because that helps a lot better. If you don't, if you plant, or I'm sorry, if you place all of the dirt into the cell while it's dry, once you decide to put the water on it, it typically bubbles up, and then the seeds can like spill over into the other cells, and it just makes a mess. And it doesn't ever really like truly saturate the seed. So it's best to start with, you know, wet mix. So we have those. I don't have anything to push this down with. Oh, you know what? Let me just use a glove. Now tomorrow, I am planning to go live again. So if you have any recommendations or ideas for what you want me to talk about tomorrow, then let me know down in the comments. And just by the way, I like these gloves. They have, I think it's called like nitrate something. Is it called nitrate? I don't know what I did with the thing. But anyway, you get 3 packs, and I think it's like $6.97. So you get just like greenish, or I'm sorry, turquoise color, and then you have like a greenish color, and then like this kind of salmon, peachy, whatever. Okay, so I'm just going to take my finger and just press these down into the soil a little bit. This is very relaxing, by the way. And then what I can do later on is just top it off with a little bit more dirt. So let me show you what it looks like. So I just pushed it down. See? Oh, wait. This is the #1 thing that I always mess up, y'all. I just plant stuff and then I don't write down what it is. Hold on. So if you have like some, I don't really like these. I got these from the local plant store. Normally it's best, I think, to have like the little small thin plant labels as opposed to this, but hey, I'm just gonna roll with it. So that was the midnight snack. So, I like to write what it is and then today's date. I think I don't really know what today is. Ninth or 10th? Ninth or 10th? Let's see. So let's get my little Sharpie here. Write this on here. It was supposed to rain today, but it didn't, which I'm not mad about, but it may rain tomorrow. So, oh, let's write the 9th. Okay, just that. Don't laugh at my handwriting. So actually, I'll just cover up a little bit of the dirt onto the seed. Yep, so I started some other seeds because plants are super duper expensive and there's really no need to break the bank. Like if you're in a warmer growing area, like down south or, California, Florida, what have you, you could pretty much probably, germinate your seeds faster. But we're in the Northeast struggling mightily. And I can't imagine like the poor people up in Michigan and Maine and Vermont. Okay, so let's just do this. Now, do you have any other recommendations, like any questions about anything, any concerns that you may have with regard to the gardening? So another thing, I want you guys to be successful. I want you to have the confidence, like no fear. I can grow this, like nothing's going to stop me. Nobody's going to stop me, right? Are you going to any public gardens? So near me is Longwood Gardens, and it's my absolute favorite, okay? And I am a member, and I try to get there a few times a year, especially like each season. And with that, go and get some garden inspiration. Public gardens, yeah, go and see how like the professionals do things, right? And if you're concerned with, how tall something may get, if it will work for your space, you can go there and typically see plants in the full maturity level. So that will give you a really great idea of like, oh, well, I could plant this in such and such area, and so I think that will help you feel less intimidated with planting and trying to understand the instructions on the seed packets if you can go and see it like live and up close. So pretty much right now, guys, it's time to stop pussyfooting around and start your garden. And I know you can do it, and there's no reason you shouldn't do it. It's fun, it's therapeutic, okay? It can be a little expensive, if you're not really into like the trying and experimenting and the DIY aspect of it, but it can be so deeply fulfilling and rewarding. Like, honestly, I don't know one person who's ever said, like, oh, I regret starting the garden. That was the worst thing I ever did. I don't know anybody. Do you? Right? And then think about the joy that you can actually share with your friends, your family, your coworkers, like random people. I've even given on several occasions, like whatever I grow, I just pass it out to the mail carrier. Anybody. It's fun. And it helps really bring like a whole sense of community. So, oh, thank you so much. It is the 10th. Oh, I'm a day behind. Okay, let's see if we can fix this, y'all. I think I can fix it. See, I made a mistake and it's fine. Like the world's not going to end. And if anybody is listening, just so you know, like, I talked about like the plants being expensive, but honestly, seeds are pretty expensive too. Like once spend $3 up to $6, depending upon like the size and how many seeds are in the packet, it can get pretty pricey because then you'll need the fertilizer and the dirt and all the things, right? But I would encourage you to set a budget at the beginning, right? You want to figure out what it is that you really want to grow, the things that you eat. That's the first thing. Figure out how much you want to spend. And if you can only spend like $20 right now, that is fine. That's fine. Like the same thing, like when people, back in the day used to start out with a starter home. Okay. But now, and realtors don't come for me, but now it's like you're 23 years old and they want you to have your dream home. Like, why? It should have been starter home, then your move up home, then the forever home. Okay? So start small is fine. If you need somebody to give you permission, me, Cicely, is giving you permission to start small. If you get just one container, okay? Just one container, and grow something that you like and love and want to eat and share, excited about, do that. Because like I said earlier, you will definitely build your confidence. And just so you know, the gardening industry is in America, I think the last time I checked, is $24 billion. Okay. And I want you to be a success, right? Because with the business models, they have it baked in that you'll overwater the plant, that, you'll mother it to death, and then you want to come back and replace it. But you don't have to do that. Okay. And another thing, guys, later on into the season, I'll revisit this, but please know when you purchase tropical plants, usually, like in the winter, if you're in a cold region, they're going to go dormant. They're not dead, they're just going dormant. Okay. And that's okay. So these plants behind me in my plant studio, they've all been out here. There is like it's a sunroom, so it does get warm during the day, but also I do have like some baseboard heating, and I may turn, like in the dead of winter, I may turn it on like one time just to kind of heat it up. But guess what? These plants survived. You see? They survived. They're bouncing back, right? So you don't want to be a control freak. Just let the plants do what they need to do, and it's okay. It's okay. So that's all I have for today. I think that's enough. Please let me know what you need help with. Drop me a comment. Thanks so much for dropping by. And tomorrow I'm going to be live. What time? I don't know. Maybe like 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock. Is that good? Okay. Let's do it. So anyway, who else do we have here? I'm not mad either. I'm not mad. No, we're not mad. I don't know. No, we're not going to be mad. We don't need to be mad. We're in the garden. We're happy. We have our lovely plant friends. These also make great gifts. Okay. And if you're out, okay, so for instance, like This was at a local plant nursery. And I think they had like the herbs, maybe 5 for $10. Okay. So I'll tell you straight up, this type of variety, you won't find this in your big box stores. Okay. This is like more of a specialty item. You'll find just a regular thyme, but not the golden lemon thyme. Okay. But this size would be at least $5.98. Okay, so we want to shop smart. If at all possible, shop smart. If you're not going to start your own seeds. But look, I buy things like this and then I also do my own seeds. Mix it up. Do what you need to do. If you want to jumpstart and, like I said, build your confidence, make sure that you feel like you're starting off on a good foot, then go ahead and purchase some plants. It's fine. Do that. And I think for me, you know how people talk about retail therapy and they buy clothes and shoes and handbags? I've never been that girl, ever. But plants, seeds, all the things, that's what I need. That's what I need. So I'm always buying plants and I absolutely love to share. But back to the price comparison. So I think it was it was 5 for $10. So if I purchased 5 at $6 plus tax, that's over $30. That's what, about $35. Why? We don't need to do that. So I'm excited for you. I'm very happy that you are going to start your garden. And please come back to this video and tell me if you started. Tell me what you're growing. Tell me how it's going. Like, I really do want to know. Like, I really, really, really want to know. Okay? So be empowered, be encouraged, manifest great harvest, take pictures, document like your steps, your baby steps, and share. That's what I want you to do. So where my hat today was not as sunny as I was hoping, but this is my favorite garden hat. And get your garden gear up. Oh, look, I got my flower pins here. Right? So figure out what your gardening persona is gonna be and just roll with it. So anyway, I'm gonna let you guys go. I hope you have a lovely evening and I hope to see you mañana.